We're live. I said this time. I said that before, didn't I? Anyway, moving on.
Good morning, everybody.
I might learn if I just kept doing it. I might learn how to do it properly, mightn't I?
Is that a hint?
See if they pick up on it first.
Okay, to continue, and possibly this might be our last one that we've been given in terms of instructors telling us what has caught them out on their theory tests, so their ADI Part 1 tests, questions they've caught them out, and I think we've done 5 or 6 now. So we haven't got any more after this in terms of what we've been given by instructors. So if you're watching this and you have had a question in your part 1 that confused you or tripped you up for some reason, let us know and we'll have a little look into it for you and answer it.
Well, it could even be a question of pupils asked you from their theory or just generally. We
did think that what we could now go on to is the top 5 questions that people get wrong, as in pupils get wrong, and look at those. So at least you're doing is making sure that they have got the information about those top 5. Certainly with my own theory, I do make sure that mentally I've ticked off those top 5 because I know why they get them wrong. I can see why they get them wrong. So perhaps we will look at that.
Yeah, and there's then nothing wrong with you going on to do a little video for yourself or your pupils, or in a live chat with some of your pupils to keep them going with their theory and stuff while we're sitting around. It's because they're doing nothing, but we seem to be busy around.
So the final question for the ADI Part 1 theory that has caught people out is about rote learning. And although I don't exactly know what the question is, but it asks you what they are. So what is rote learning? I think there's also a reference to Gestalt learning. So I think it's probably caught people out because although rote learning might be something that you're vaguely familiar with, some of you might be very familiar with the terminology, but a lot of people don't necessarily understand what that word is. So to learn something by rote is to learn something almost parrot fashion. Think about it like that. So when we all learnt our times tables or not at school, we learnt them by rote. Which meant that we repeated, we stuck in our memory, repeat, stuck in memory, repeat, stuck in a memory. So that parrot fashion repeating of a process is what is meant by rote learning. The disadvantage of rote learning, of course, and it doesn't ask you this in your theory, but for those of you that are instructing, the disadvantage of rote learning is it doesn't necessarily go into the understanding of it. It's the knowledge, maybe, but it's not the understanding of something.
It's sort of a bit old-fashioned way the instructors would do it. Just do this because I've told you to do it.
Yeah.
So check your mirror, check your mirror, check your mirror, check your mirror. No, because there's no reasons why, no consequences, no why that's useful, sort of understanding. So I would call that you want to do sort of rote with understanding, and then it's no longer really rote, is it?
Well, rote to help somebody's memory, perhaps, but then some understanding to make it worthwhile.
So our son, his dive, for example, has been doing the same dives for 3 years. That's rote, but there's more to it than that because there's more understanding and more development rather than just do it. But there is an element of that as well, isn't there? Because particularly a physical skill like diving where, the way your knee is slightly bent is going to lose you marks. It's more important probably to do it 1,000,000 times than it is to do that junction 1,000,000 times.
Well, that's also a muscle memory issue, isn't it? So,
Absolutely.
Gestalt learning is similar, I guess, but more related to a sequence. So if you're learning a sequence of things, that's what Gestalt learning is. So MSPSL, POM, POM, that type of stuff. That's a learning of a sequence. Again, you could say it's learnt by rote because it is a repeat, memorise, repeat. It doesn't necessarily cover the understanding, so the understanding is still having to be brought in. So to learn something by rote is a learning technique, basically, and that is the answer for the theory.
Yeah, and it's difficult to find any of the books, isn't it? We found a little bit of a reference to it.
Hold the coffee. The DVSA do make comment on it if you Google it, just within general chat when it comes to learning theory in particular. So to learn your theory via rote, to repeat a theory test questions online, for example. However, in the practical teaching skills for driving instructors, you will find a section on learning, and in there it does talk about rote learning. 2 or 3 times it brings in rote learning and also takes it to the next level in terms of an understanding behind the rote as well. So that is the publication that you will find that in, as well as course of just good old Google.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We've got links now on the site to this one. Links within the next 20 minutes will be for that one as well. That's just under our shop section, so you've got an easy reference to go, and it just takes you to Amazon. Just you can Google it yourself, but it's just I've made sure I put the right versions on because there are older versions around that they're trying to get rid of, particularly essential skills. So I've made sure that the links are the newest versions.
Yep. So that's the end of the questions that we have had given to us by instructors or PDIs that have been caught out on their part ones. As I said, if there's anything that you remember from your part one that did catch you out or that you'd like to just have a refresh on, let us know and we'll add it. Otherwise, tomorrow we'll go into the top 5 theory questions that pupils fail on or get wrong.
So just contact us in one of the normal ways: social media, comment under this video on YouTube, however suits you best. And we'll find it properly. Yeah, have a
Enjoy
good
your
day.
day.
See you later. Oh, for